Pentagon House. They were here to meet South African retired Anglican Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Tutu is in the country in an attempt to broker a truce between President Kibaki and ODM leader Raila Odinga. And for 2 hours they met behind closed doors. During the meeting, both parties agreed to hold talks to end the current crisis in the country.
The ODM is ready and look forward to the possibility of mediation to seek a resolution of the crisis in this country.
We have put our position very clear on the table, and it is 2 points only. Number one, ODM recognizes that we have a serious, grave crisis in our country, and that crisis needs to be resolved in the shortest time possible to stop the kind of mayhem and anarchy that our country has now become. It is urgent. It needs immediate attention.
After the press conference, the much-awaited march to Uhuru Park began.
Witness, did you see Mr. William Ruto during that piece of video we showed you? Could you see him? Yes. And I put it to you that that's what William Ruto was doing on the 3rd of January 2008. Nothing at all to do with money like you have told this court. What do you have to say about that?
Mr. Ruto came to Building 1 on that day.
Let me interrupt you because I also don't want you to stray into areas as we're in public session. Do you agree with me that you are telling untruths to this court, or do you disagree with me?
I disagree.
Your Honour, regarding the allegations regarding money that Mr. Ruto received directly or indirectly 300,000 shillings to send up to Jackson Kimball, I put it to you that you are deliberately fabricating that evidence, and you have been fabricating that evidence since the moment you met the prosecution. Is that correct?
I have not been fabricating.
Your Honour, I would refer briefly to some documents. The first is at tab 17, which should be confidential. It can be shown to the witness. Ken-D09-0020-0001. But Your Honour, I can move on. It's simply a request for information. Publicly, I can move on to Ken, tab 18, Ken-D09-0020-0002. If that can be put on the screen, and that's a public document. And witness, if you look at the screen, and what you'll see Ken D09-0020-0002. And witness, before it comes up, I'll describe it to you to save court time. It's a letter from the branch manager of Cooperative Bank of Kenya, dated the 17th of September 2013. The Parliament Road branch that you mentioned when you gave evidence to the prosecution. And the branch manager states, we acknowledge receipt of your request dated the 16th of September 2013. which the judges have got at tab 17. And she says, we hereby forward certified statements for the only 2 ODM accounts held with us. And witness, you told the court that ODM had 2 accounts, didn't you? Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
And then the account numbers are listed, and then she states, as you will see from both account statements, there were no transactions made from any of the 2 accounts on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th of January 2008. Can you see that, witness? Can you read that?
Councillor, I think we can move away. We can move on.
Tab 19, it's Ken-D09-0020-0003. And if that can be put quickly on the screen. But witness, I can exhibit these later for the sake of time, but witness, let that be put on the screen, so at least one of the 2 statements. I'll just put one of the 2. So 003. And witness, when you look at this statement very briefly, you'll see between the 31st of December and the 31st of January, the account number specified in that statement of the Orange Democratic Movement of Kenya had but 3 withdrawals. On the 30th of January, 35 shillings, 300 shillings for a maintenance fee, and 1,250 for, I think, statements issued. So no other transactions between the 31st of December and 31st of January. So I put it to you, witness, once again, what it shows is that your account is false when you say that you can give evidence that money was given or withdrawn from this account and given to Mr. Ruto. What do you have to say about that? Are you willing to reconsider your evidence or not?
Did he really say that? Or did he say a deduction made from conversation with somebody else?
I put it to your account of being told about such withdrawals is fabricated, as is the contention that you were told that money had been given to Mr. Ruto. Does this inform your evidence to the court, or does it not make a jot of difference, Mr. Witness?
From the bank statement given, I'm not able to tell because it was something that
Witness, you don't see a withdrawal for 300,000 shillings in that statement, do you?
Well, maybe he should be allowed to finish his answer first, and then counsel can pose the next question.
Witness, had you finished your answer or not?
From what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing 300,000.
I'm grateful. Your Honour, I'll move on because I don't want to take time. There's another statement as well, but I can exhibit it later. I'll also go to Ken D09-0020-0158. And witness, it's a letter from James Omingo Magara, dated the 7th of October 2013, addressed to the defence teams of Honourable William Samoei A. Ruto and Joshua Sang. And he says this, that I was the ODM National Treasurer in 2007 and was involved in logistics and the planning of party meetings and rallies. And I wish to state as follows, that there was no ODM meeting at Uhuru Park in December 2007. The last ODM rally in Nairobi was at Nyayo National Stadium on the 24th of December 2007. And if you turn over the page to ERN ending, the next page, yes. 159, you'll see an affidavit. 159. The next page, please. And I'll start reading it for the sake of time. Paragraph 3, the Honourable James Omingo Magara hereby makes under oath and states as follows, in paragraph 3, that the rules and regulations of the party did not permit the Treasurer to make any hard cash advancements and or payment to any of its nominees, be it presidential, parliamentary or civic. And at paragraph 5, witness, you'll note that he says that I wish to state categorically that at no point in time during my tenure as the Treasurer of the party was any money given out to the Honourable William Samoei A. Ruto. And you'll see at 0160...
Councillor, let's do it this way. I believe that what you owe this witness, whom you've been cross-examining for some time now, is a duty to put to him that his account is wrong or false, or however you choose to characterize it. I think you should do that, and you've done that sufficiently. Let's not go through every document that may be tendered as evidence to prove your proposal on the point. It's enough to put the thing to him so you satisfy the duty of fairness, your duty of fairness to him, so that later on, if you needed to prove your proposition, no one will say that you've been unfair to the witness, that you had not put your proposition. But if we now started introducing every document and video, it will put the witness here for a long time, and we don't have time for that.
Witness, I'll move on. Witness, I don't want you to be under any illusion that I'm putting to you that you have quite deliberately concocted, not a mistaken, but a fraudulent and false account, and peddled it as if it were the truth. Do you agree with me that that is precisely what you have done?
From my statement, as I was told from the people I happened to talk with, that to my knowledge that is what happened.
And I put it to you that you have deceived and conned your way all the way to The Hague, and you haven't stopped lying even now. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Witness?
Mr. Khan, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there for the day. Mr. Keegan-Cartwright needs to start his cross-examination.
Your Honour, I'll be literally 4 minutes, and I'll move on with your...
I will have gone beyond your 15 minutes by much.
Well, Your Honour, I'll try to be... Your Honour, one more document and I will sit down. I understand my learned friend does not object. We've discussed these issues also.
Okay, the witness will need to complete this witness today.
Your Honour, I've said...
and that includes, one second, that includes any re-examination.
Your Honour, I've said that we'll finish it today. I don't know, I've spoken to my learned friend briefly about a re-examination, but it must be remembered that we are seeking to move on as quickly as we can to confront a witness that we say is deceiving this court or trying to deceive the court. And, Your Honour, we've taken less time than the prosecution had in chief. But, Your Honour, I'll move on. Witness, you came out of hibernation after 5 years of silence after the post-election violence, to give your account to the prosecution because you thought you could receive certain financial and other benefits by becoming an OTP ICC witness, didn't you?
No.
Your Honour, I put on tab 38 of the bundle, and it's Ken-D09-0020-0048. And witness, you were seeing articles like this one from the Star newspaper headed ICC gives 14 witnesses lifetime protection, dated the 11th of July 2011, in which the people of Kenya were being told by many, many articles that there was lifetime protection on offer, witnesses would not return home to Kenya after the trials, that they could be allocated. Can it be put on the screen, please? Can it be put on the screen, please? Ken D090020-0048. And that they could be allocated safe houses in European countries. And it goes on, I won't belabor the point. But you thought, after having really not gone out and told the truth to Waki or to Kenyan human rights, being frustrated back home, you thought this was a lifeline of possibilities. And that's why you've deliberately tried to deceive the court, isn't that right?
I never read that paper, and
Mr. Khan, let's leave it there. You can make these submissions to the court at the end of the day.
I'm grateful, Your Honour. Your Honour, before my learned friend rises, I'd ask that exhibit numbers be given to the video of Desmond Tutu, showing Desmond Tutu, Ken-009-0020-0107. If I may be permitted to go on with the cooperative, the letter from the cooperative bank, Ken-D09-0020-0002, and then the one also ending 0003. I'd ask that those documents, the video be admitted into evidence, the other two letters be marked for identification.
Any objection?
The video MFI, the video EVD, and then the others for ID. And that's fine.
So the court officer, the video will be admitted as evidence exhibit next in the series for the Ruto defense. And the other two documents are to be marked for identification, Ruto defense.
Oui, Monsieur le Président.
Yes, Mr. President. Document KEN D0900200017 is a public video, will be marked as EVD TD090044 and will be identified as exhibit number 44 for the Ruto defense team. Documents KEN D0900200002 will be given the reference NET T090045. And document KEN D0900200003 will be marked as MIFT T090046. Thank you.
Your Honour, the Star article ending 0048 had asked to be given an exhibit number, and then the letter from James Magara, Ken D090020-0158, should be marked, I say, for identification, please.
Was that not done already?
Your Honour, I understand it wasn't, but I also see the court officer shaking his head. So I'd ask that that be rectified before I end my cross-examination. And if it is, then I'm finished.
Your Honours, this particular Star publication appears to be an internet printout. So on this occasion, we would say the best that my friend can do is mark it for identification.
Your Honour, it's up to my friend. If the bench think that that can't be relied upon at this stage, it can be MFI'd. But, Your Honour, I think it's a small point.
Let's mark it for identification.
Oui, Monsieur le Président, les documents...
Yes, Mr. President. Document KEN D09000058 is a public document. Will be given will be marked for identification as TD090047. Document KEN D0900200048 will be MFI'd as TD090048. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Khan, that's it for you.
It is, and I'm much obliged, Mr. President, Your Honours.
Mr. Keegan Katwa.
Mr. President, as indicated earlier by the Chamber, we have made binders of all the documents we'll be relying on. And with your permission, Mr. President, I would request that the binders be given to the judges. Secondly, Mr. President and Your Honours, I intend to use only about 9 items of the totality of 40 items I had put in my binders, owing to the difference between the witness initial contentions and what he adduced in court. So I will be using only a fraction of the binders. Thirdly, Mr. President and Your Honours, all the items I'll be referring to today, and this is for the court officer, all the documents I'll be referring to today are public documents, so there is no confidentiality in them.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I would request that we go into a closed session for approximately 4 minutes.
We have to go into closed session again to members of the public. We occasionally need to do this out of the need to protect the identity of witnesses who are enjoying protection under the court protection program. So we'll go into...
Mr. President, sorry, I meant private session, not
yes,
closed session.
Private session. Private session, of course, means the public can see us, but they cannot hear us. So we'll go into a private session.